Hello everyone, this is Just a Dad. I'm going to do a review on this LC350 digital projector. It's a really cheap projector off of Amazon, and I purchased it and I'm going to do a review on it. Okay, so I took it out of the box. It comes in this really nice carry case with a handle and a zipper. And you open it up and it's got this projector that fits in there just right. It comes with the power cable, comes with an HDMI cable, comes with an old school RCA jack cable, and it comes with a remote control. Okay, so I want to show you the cable is not super long. I mean, it's like a standard cable, but you got this jack on the side you're going to plug it into. Okay, so on the side you've got the USB jack, you've got the HDMI jack, and you also have an old school like for a computer monitor. And then you've got an audio video and a headphone jack there. Okay, so the HDMI cable it comes with is not super long. It looks like about maybe 3 or 4 feet, but just enough to get what you need if you're going from a laptop. Okay, so I want to show you the front of the projector. It comes with this nice lens and it's kept on there with this cable. And so this is how you're going to focus it. And that does, it turns it, up or down. And then this is just a manual screw. You're going to screw in or out to get it to the right height. And it doesn't have a ton of adjustment on it. So, in the bottom there is this other screw. It looks like for like a tripod or something. This thing is not super heavy. So yeah, if you had to put it on like a tripod, I think it would work just fine. Okay, what I failed to mention, it does have like a micro SD slot. And then these are speakers on the back. Not sure how good they're going to sound, but those are speakers pointing directly out the back. Okay, so we're going to turn the power button on. It changes to blue light, and it's powering up. Okay, so I put it on a tripod. I've got this whiteboard that we're going to use, and I had it on a table, and I just couldn't get the right angle, so you're probably not going to have it on a tripod, but I'm going to show you how to do it on a tripod. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do, I've got it turned on, it's not in focus, so you're going to want to get it in focus by turning that. The Keystone is if it can mess with the angle, like if your projector is mounted at an angle. Mine's not at an angle, it's straight on, so I'm going to leave it right there. And it's in focus. Okay, so at first you're going to have this screen. Then you're going to want to press this home button. That's going to tell you where you want your input to come from. So as I use this right arrow key, I can pick where I want the information to come from to display on the board. So I've got HDMI 1 picked. Okay. Okay, so as you're scrolling through these, I forgot to tell you, so when you see the one you want, you have to hit the select button. So I got HDMI, I got to come over here and I got to hit this circle, which is like a select button. Once I select it, then it'll display. I got mine hooked up to the laptop, now it displays the laptop. We had this old Uber one. We've got dogs, as you can see, and they sometimes do their duty inside on accident. It's coming out of the speaker. You were cleaning it up with this. This thing was really loud. So here's what I want to show you. So when you've got it hooked up to your laptop, the sound is not going to come out of your laptop. It's actually going to automatically use these speakers on this. We'll do a video on the Hamilton. And to control the speaker volume, you've got to use your device volume. So when I turned it up on my laptop, the speaker volume went up here. Okay, so I've got the lights off now. I've got it displaying on a whiteboard, and that's probably why you see the white dot in the middle. But the color is actually halfway decent. I wouldn't say it's high definition by any means, but it's actually a pretty big display. So there's what's being displayed on the laptop. It looks like a little warmer color. This one's got like a blue tint to it, maybe. Okay, so I've got the projector 6 feet from the screen. 6 feet from the screen. So at 6 feet, I'm getting probably exactly about a 59, almost a 60-inch screen TV. 60 inches at 6 feet. Okay, so one thing I did notice, if you go about 4.5 feet in, which is a really close, small display, you can't focus it anymore. So if you go any closer than 4.5 feet, the display will not focus. You run out of travel with the focus ring. Okay, I wanted to see it in closer. It does give a little more crisp, a little more high definition the closer you get it. And the color seems to be a little better. I did change a setting inside here to warm, and that seemed to help a little bit, but it is actually just a little nicer. Okay, so right now I've got the projector 9 feet from the screen, and it looks really big. Okay, so 9 feet from the screen, it still focuses really well. The picture looks pretty nice. You can start to see a little pixels in it, but I'm going to measure it. Okay, so I measured it at 9 feet from the screen. You have an 85-inch big screen, and it's big. I know you probably can't see it, doesn't show it from the movie standpoint, but man, I'm standing here and it looks like a super big screen. 85-inch screen. Here's more off to the side. You don't get that. Even at an angle, it still looks pretty good. You've got that shiny spot in the middle. I think that's just from showing it on a whiteboard. If you had shown it on a painted wall, I don't think you would have that. So here's a close-up of the actual screen. It's hard to kind of tell, but I think it looks really well. I mean, you got to think what you pay. I think I paid $60 for this off Amazon. So for $60, I don't know exactly how long it's going to last, but the picture is actually pretty good. Okay, so I do want to show you the eye for the remote. It's an infrared remote, kind of a cheaper one, but the eye for the remote is on the front. And I have got the volume to work, but it doesn't really change this volume a whole lot. You've got to use it from the device. That changes the volume the most. Okay, so I am getting the remote to work from the back. I'm not sure if there's an infrared sensor in the back or if it's just bouncing off of the screen. So it's got this flip function. You can flip it upside down and then backwards and then back to the front. I'm not sure why you would use that, but you do have a button on the remote. You can flip it. Okay, so it does have a menu function, and here you can change the picture mode, color, temperature, which I changed it to warm. It was in normal, I think. And then if you go left, right, you can change the sound mode, has a sleep timer, English, restore factory default, software version, update, and then picture mode. You can change the aspect ratio. You can go to 4.3, 16. I got it in auto, and it looks perfectly fine. Under the music, you can change it to movie, sports. I'm not sure what it's going to do with these pretty small speakers, but it might change that dynamic range of it a little bit. I just got it on standard. Under the sound mode, it's also got this surround sound off, SRS. I'm not sure what that is, but it does have the option there. Under this, it does have software update. Looks like you got to update it via USB. This does not talk to the internet. There's no Wi-Fi on or anything. Okay, so under picture mode, it's got standard, soft, user. That means you can scroll down and change the contrast, brightness, color, sharpness yourself. And vivid, looks like you just made the bulb brighter. I've got it on standard, looks pretty good. Okay, so I wanted to show you, I've got it on a painted wall now. It's a brown painted wall, or like a light sand brown, but you don't have that dot in the middle. And it looks really nice. So I was showing it earlier on a whiteboard, which had a reflection on it pretty bad, but this one actually, the color looks a little better now. I think that whiteboard might have just been messing with the color and everything. So it looks pretty good. Like I said, it's not super high definition, but I think you're going to really like it. So here's a better view. I've got it on this painted wall. Like you said, it's kind of a darker color paint almost, but it actually looks really well on it. Okay, so something I want to show you is every time you turn it on and off, it doesn't remember where the input was. It comes up with this screen. And either using the remote you've got to hit this source button, and again, it's going to. So then you scroll through the sources. But once you see HDMI, you got to hit the OK button, or it's not going to go to HDMI. See, it kind of goes back to that screen. So hit the source button, or on here, it's this home button, and then you use these arrows. So I got HDMI displayed. Now I want to make sure it's going to time out if I don't. Now I hit HDMI, and now I've got the display coming from my laptop. I want to show you when you turn it off, it doesn't have a cool down or anything. When you turn it off, the fan stops, everything stops. So it doesn't cool the fan down like some of the nicer ones do or anything. It just kind of stops projecting. Okay, so I want to show you what this Keystone's for. So if you have to project your projector at an angle, the Keystone here is going to sharpen that up and make, see, it's going to move it, change the angle of it, and you're only allowed so much. I've got this at a pretty extreme angle and it looks okay, but so it's not probably going to correct this big of an angle, but if you got it off just a little bit, you can use that. But I would always want to get it straight on and then just have this centered. Okay, so I've got this micro SD card. I threw some MP4 files on it and some JPEGs. You do have to insert it upside down to me, but that's the only way it'll go. And it's got like it's got that standard, you push it in and it kind of clicks, and then you push it again and it'll come out. Okay, so when I put the micro SD card in, you got to go to this home screen, and then you got to select this TF for the source. I had it on HDMI. You got to go to this TF, which is micro SD, hit select, and it comes up with this. I've got the, yeah, you got to use the arrow buttons or. Okay, so as you move the arrow around the file system, it actually starts playing the movie when you've got it highlighted. So I've got this relaxing pond video. I'm going to press the select button. It's loading it. Okay, and there it brought it up. Now that's a pretty high definition video I took of a pond, and it looks just okay here. Not the best. Okay, so what I should have shown you is after you press the TF, which is the micro SD, it's going to come up with this selection. And you've got to pick, so if there's movies on this micro SD, you got to pick movies. It will only see the movie files. So let's go over and do photo. So I'm going to go over the photo, hit select, and this is on the C drive. So there it sees I'm using, what I'm doing, I'm using these arrows, and this is center button as a select button. So I'm going to go over and pick, there's a JPEG, it's got the file name in it. So when you highlight over it, it displays it. And there's the JPEG picture I took. And I can use the remote. Okay. So what's nice about this, using the remote control, I can hit next. So if you've got a slideshow on a micro SD card, you can throw it right in here and do a slideshow. Looks like it already just starts a slideshow. Yeah, so it looks like it automatically starts the slideshow. You pick a picture and you have to press pause. And you hit the down arrow to get rid of that menu button. And so it's bringing all the pictures in that I took. And those actually show really clear. Okay, so next I just threw that micro SD card into a USB drive. And I'm going to try the USB portion. Okay, I've got the USB in. Again, this is the first screen you see. You're going to hit this home button. I'm going to scroll over to USB. I'm going to hit select. And then it's going to come up with this screen. What do you want to find on that USB? Do you want to find movies, music, photos, or text? Let's do the photos. Okay, they call it a C drive. And it brought them up. So it does see them on the USB even too. Yep, there they are. Okay, so I put some documents on this USB drive. I'm going to try some text. Again, press the enter button. This is the C drive. I didn't find. I had some Google Docs, so I didn't find those. I had some PDFs. Oh, didn't find those. So I couldn't get the documents to work. So in order to use a PowerPoint or a Google Slides, you might have to use your laptop. Now I did try this with my wife's Chromebook. The Chromebook has an HDMI, her Pixelbook has an HDMI out. It worked perfect with this projector. Okay, earlier I was wondering what this this port here is audio video. That's for these old RCA jacks. You would put that in there, and then you can hook this up to an old VCR or something that took RCA jacks. So this is your audio, the white and the red, and this is your video. So that's what the screen up here will display. You've got USB, micro SD, HDMI, so it's got this audio video circle, AV. And then that's what you're going to use this for. And again, this is for VGA. I didn't try a computer, but I'm sure a computer would work if you had an old VGA cable that hooked up to it. Okay, so it does have the standard fan sound you hear coming. It's not super loud, but it does have the typical fan noise from a projector. The speakers in the back were relatively loud. They sounded kind of teeny just because they're so small. But again, we were going to use this to hook up to a Chromebook to display my wife's teaching so that she could do some remote teaching. And it's worked out really well. Again, for the price, you can't go wrong. I really do like the carrying bag, so if you had to take it on the go. And it does come with a user manual, and it's got centimeters and stuff, but it's a pretty good user manual. It's written in English, and it kind of goes through everything. Again, here's a closer up view of the remote. Again, infrared, and mainly you're using it for the menu and these buttons here. So again, I hope this video helps you in making a decision on this projector from Amazon. And would you please like and subscribe? And thank you very much.